Wherever you are around the world, morning, evening, afternoon. It's Indiana Joe here, Joe Hubbard, and we've come to do this brief little test for, well, we've done a number of reasons we wanted to do this broadcast today. The first one is because we've got some brand new equipment which we've just set up. You can see some of it here in the screen, but we wanted to do a bit of a test run, make sure that it's all working, because tomorrow, and this is another reason to do this broadcast, is to tell you about tomorrow, where we, of course, have got our Creation Conversations. Let's see if I can put a graphic up just here. There we go. Creation Conversations with myself. You can see my cartoon there on the right hand side, and also John Mackay, our international director. He will be here as well, and we will be discussing a few different things, but particularly looking at the Good Friday side of things. We're talking about Easter, we're talking about where Easter came from, we're talking about the Bible side of things, we're talking about fossils and thorns, and it's going to be a little bit longer than normal. It's going to be sort of an hour-long program, so it should be nice and fun, but it was to sort of let you know about that, and that's happening. That is happening tomorrow. It's Good Friday if you're in the UK, or if you're in the USA. It will happen at 9 p.m. at night in the UK. It'll happen at that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon if you're living in the USA in the central time zone. So work that out for either side of the time zones. If you're in Australia, however, you're a day ahead of us, of course. So if you're in Australia, that will actually be happening on Saturday morning, quite early Saturday morning, between 6 and 7 o'clock, depending on where in Australia you actually are. Let's talk about one or two other things. What is it today? Oh, it's a number of things today. It's April Fool's, of course. It's the 1st of April. It's also Monday, Thursday, or Maunday Thursday, depending on how you pronounce it or how you were brought up to pronounce it. And there's many different definitions of the or different pronunciations or names that we have for this particular Thursday, the Thursday before Easter. And, you know, the Bible has a few things to say about both these days. Let's start off with April Fools. Here's Psalm 14, verse 1. It says, "The fool has said in his heart that there is no God." You see, the Bible makes no qualms about it. Atheism is foolishness. There is really no atheists, because everybody knows that there is a God. God who created us has imparted into our conscious, if you like, the fact that we know that there is a God. But, you know, for Christians, and particularly for Christians watching this, there's an interesting little snippet that we can talk about that the Bible talks about in 1 Corinthians. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 20, it says, "Where is the wise? Where is the scribe? Where is the disputer of this age? Has not God made foolish the wisdom of this world? For since in the wisdom of God, the world through wisdom did not know God, it pleased God through the foolishness of the message preached to save those who believe. For Jews request a sign, and Greeks seek after wisdom. But we preach Christ crucified, to the Jews a stumbling block, and to the Greeks foolishness." You see, what Paul is trying to get the message across here to the Christians in Corinth is people have different perspectives of viewing the Bible, and it's important we understand those perspectives when we're trying to evangelize to them. I mean, to the Jews, the gospel is a stumbling block. I mean, the Jews had been brought up with the mindset of, yes, of course, there was going to be a Redeemer, but before the Redeemer comes, we have to follow the law. And we can't keep the law, so we have to sacrifice loads and loads of animals in order to keep the law. So when you come along with this concept of Jesus Christ, the Savior of all, who can save us from his one-time sacrifice, the perfect sacrifice of all, they just can't wrap their heads around that. That's a stumbling block. It trips them up. And you see, the Jews had a full perspective of the law. They understood the full history of the Bible. They understood the full history of the world. They knew about God creating them, but Jesus Christ was a stumbling block to them. And then you have the Greeks, the secular world, the Greeks or the Gentiles, the non-Jewish people, the people who had secular perspectives, the Greeks who had a very naturalistic way of viewing the world around them, particularly similar to the way that secular science views the world around us today. Okay, to the Greeks, what was the gospel? It was foolishness. You Christians are silly people, foolish people, and there's it's just silliness to them. Yeah, the Bible also gives that flip reverse sort of perspective of it, that the fool says in his heart there is no God. It's foolishness, according to the Bible, to be an atheist. And by the way, my dad, who was an atheist before he became a Christian, and he would testify to this as well, the foolish part is not the fact that you don't believe in God. The foolishness is that you say you don't believe in God when you know deep down in your heart that that is a lie, that there really is a God out there. Interesting. Maundy Thursday, where did that come from, or the concept of it? Well, it's interesting. It's connected to the old Latin word mandate. And in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 13, Jesus says to his disciples, is during the Last Supper, he says, "A new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another as I have loved you, that you would also love one another." There's a commandment there, a new commandment, a new mandate. And yes, the Latin Bible that was brought across to the British Isles by the Normans during the Roman conquest, the French very closely connected to the Latin, that mandate or mandate became Monday, because you know how English are with their words and messing stuff up. So Maundy Thursday is the day that we remember that commandment that Jesus gave to us the day before he died. "This commandment I give to you, a new commandment that I give to you, love one another." So join Creation Research as we express our love to you, and we express our love to all sinners, including sinners like ourselves, the true gospel of Jesus Christ. Join us tomorrow as we discuss with John Mackay some fascinating new discoveries, including, let's see if I can hold this up to the camera. I don't know how well you can see that there. Let's get it in front of my face so it focuses for you. You see that lovely thorn there? This is a new fossil that we found. A new fossil that we found just the other day, and we're actually going to be using this in our talk tomorrow. So join us then. For now, Indiana Joe out.